We would love to have you share our YouTube channel, youtube.com/SF17 Studio Chatter. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Do you keep a journal every day, every week? What do you write about?
Every month.
Let's talk this through.
Wow.
Yes.
Let's ask you.
Yes.
You keep
What
a journal?
do you do?
No, not. I mean, I want to. I did. I just don't.
Okay.
Anymore. Not
I
like
think every single person
should.
goes through that.
Yes.
I don't currently, but I want to.
Oh,
Don't you think?
and each one is a book. Do you know that? I must have like a plethora of books where the 1st of January I start writing. Then I find another book and I think, oh, that looks pretty. Let me just start. I love first page. How about that?
So thank heavens for Facebook and Instagram. So that's
Yeah.
pretty,
Yes.
that's really
Yeah.
kind of my
Journaling.
journal
Yeah.
right now.
Now, don't open up too much on those places, though.
No, I mean, and that's not even really writing.
Right.
I think that most of my memories are saved right now via photos.
Right. So
And
that you could do that.
sometimes, you know, I will get
As we
40
say.
and I'll write it down. And I know that you have some thoughts, and we'll come back to my wants and what I want to do.
What to do?
Do you remember the time of scrapbooking?
Oh, yeah,
You do?
I do all of mine online
I used
now.
to be quite jealous of people who used to do that because I thought, wow, that's a lot of work. But the whole concept behind that, I think, is fantastic.
We forget so
yes.
quickly.
Yeah.
So I've on and off since I was a little girl. I had a diary when I was just little, and I still have that. So it's been fun to go back. But I've kept a journal, and I recently read that, and it was really neat to go back about how I felt about being a mother. Like it reminded me, and it's kind of like you're looking at yourself in a third person, or I don't know. I'm like, good job, Stacy. You enjoyed being a mother. But recently, I have started a gratitude journal. And I remember years ago, it says thanks, hearing Oprah. I think she was probably the first one that ever said, write a gratitude journal. And I thought, I have a grateful heart. I'm not going to write it down. But I think there's something different writing it down rather than just keeping it in your head.
Definitely.
So I remember last November being in church and someone said, I have a gratitude journal, and I just write down, I don't even think she gave herself a limit, which in my head I've always write 3 things a day, have 5. No limit. You can write, today was great, I'm grateful for Diet Coke. And if that's truly what it is that day, write it down. So I started doing that, but when she said it, for some reason it hit me like, how lucky is her posterity to get this?
Totally.
To get this of like what I'm thankful for. And so I have done pretty good since last November in writing what I'm thankful for. And some things are, I'll just kind of like a bullet point. But some things I really go into, but other things are just a sentence. So I think it can be anything. It doesn't have to be something specific. Then the other thing I wanted to share, Natasha, this is really one of my favorite gifts of the year. Natasha gave my bucket list book to me for my birthday gift, and it has things that I want to do. And so number 1 on my bucket list is visit Savannah, Georgia, and it asks questions like, what inspired you to think about this? And then who are you going with? And how do you make it happen? Then the next page is fulfilling it. And so
I love that book too.
I love it, and it's just so fun, and there's inspiring pictures, but I think it's just your dreams can come true in this. But when I got this, I thought, okay, I'm in my 40s. I've already done so many great things. So I went back to this and said, I'm so grateful for the opportunities to visit here, or do this. I never would have thought, it would have been on my bucket list, but it came true. So anyway, that's my insight on journaling.
Fantastic. Well,
Love that.
I've just decided right now, when I get frustrated, instead of just picking up the phone and dumping on somebody, because then you feel bad about it, you know, kind of. Now I've started writing about it.
I love it.
I'll even put a date, and then it's just, and then I try to find something positive about the whole, even though I'm frustrated at that time.
Really?
Yes, and I actually just write down what, you know, if I'm so frustrated, I'll just go back to myself. That self-talk we've talked about in the past. I am enough. I'm okay. I've just got to keep looking at that person with love. And I write this all down, and I just keep writing until that weird feeling in my heart goes away.
I think it's very therapeutic. I think
It is.
there's good instruction in journal. I don't think it's just
No, I'm
meaningless
not.
things. It's
right.
like it's therapeutic. It
is.
lets you open up your soul,
Right.
and then it kind of releases.
Right, it's
Those
absolutely.
feelings.
And I'm not so much looking at it as my posterity at this stage, because some of those things I
Your
don't
posterity that are driving you nuts.
But you would be surprised how much that means to the future.
Oh,
because
of one's frustrations and, you know.
I'm sure that my my 12-year-old self, when I did keep a journal,
Yes.
like it's fun to go back and read
Yes.
that and laugh at
Yes.
it now. I wish I would have done better ime in my 30s. I did do some journaling in high school and in college, and those, like I said, that's fun to read. I'm going to do better now. I would like to do better now, but like you said about the posterity, my grandma kept a journal for years and years
Okay.
and years, so there were enough journals for all of the grandchildren to have their birth year and to read every morning of what happened in your birth year. She would write the date, the temperature, what happened that morning.
My grandma did that
Yes,
too.
like what she ate for breakfast, what was going
you
on
love
that
that,
morning.
Natasha?
Oh my gosh, of course. Like that's just it's just
Okay,
amazing.
I have a suggestion. I did this with both my girls. I got cute little books, and I wrote to them, and then I'll give it to them when they have their first baby.
Aw.
Sometimes I would get one entry in a year. Other years have multiple entries. So for an example, my 25-year-old daughter, she was a little harder to navigate in parenting. And in one entry kind of said, we had a rough morning. You went to school crying. Your clothes didn't match. It was bad. We ended the day with a tea party in your bedroom.
Aw.
So it was just like, life is hard, but life is so precious. And to give that to her just as she's entering motherhood too, and to remember that.
Well, it's even fun to see how the diaries or journals or whatever they are change over time, because my grandma's were literally the diaries with the little key. So, just how they even change. And just one final thought, the gratitude journal. I have a friend who said that her husband wrote a gratitude journal for her. Like, wrote what he was grateful for toward her every day, and then gifted it to her on their anniversary. So my goal was to do the same for my husband, to write what I'm grateful for to him every day. And we know that we all have those days, like when you're gritting through your teeth, you're like, I'm really grateful that you mowed the lawn today. But you are grateful. And to have your spouse to be able to go through that every day and be like, oh my gosh, like how amazing is that? Of course, everybody hated her spouse at that moment, because you're like, he did what?
so let me ask you this:
but
Did
isn't that
she
amazing?
do it every day for a year and then give it to him, or give it to
Yes.
him empty and say, "I'm going to write this"? Okay.
She had no idea. He
he
did
did
it.
it. Okay.
He did it for her on his own for an entire year.
That's nice.
So
That's
just
super
another
special.
idea, but isn't
Yeah.
that super fun?
Yeah. That's a good anniversary gift.
Yeah,
Ada.
that's a great anniversary gift.
birthday.
Yeah, so you can be grateful for a lot of things,
Oh,
or it's a way
definitely.
to vent or a way to journal, but
That's
just
right.
another thought.
And scrapbooks too.
That's
Another
true,
great, because
yeah.
often in scrapbooks
You can see the
you remember the
journey,
You're
yeah.
reminded of what you do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So many fun
Thanks,
things.
guys.
yeah.
All right, shoes. Need I say more? That's coming right up.